Hello and welcome back to ABG Investor Day and the presentation of DistIT. My name is Rebecca Gärderup and I work as an analyst here at ABG in the IT and technology sector. With us today we have Robert Rosenzweig from DistIT, the CEO, and he will give us a company presentation and an overview of the company. Robert, please go ahead.
Thank you. So let us start straight away. DistIT has a business concept where we develop and acquire niche distributors within mobility, within EV charging, within IT and other areas of electronics. We have channel access across all Nordics and integrations with our customers in these channels. And we also are developing our European distribution network. So what we do is we are distributing external brands and also own brands. We have a portfolio of well-positioned which is well positioned in the value chain. So we have on external brands and our own brands, which we have distribution vehicles or rigs or platforms which we use. And here you see Aurora del Taco, you see Septon here, you see eFuel, and you see also Sominis. And then if we go further to the right, we see the channels in the Nordics. And in the Nordics, all major customers in basically almost all channels are our customers. And the biggest players in this area, we have also IT integrations with them. So if you want to distribute electronic accessories in the Nordics, well, you can't really hit, it's a limited market. So you can't make a great success in just hitting one channel. The market is too little to create an astounding success. It's not a one-trick pony market. So you need to work across the various channels. E-commerce, to choose the right e-commerce partners with the right physical stores, and etc. Depending on the strategy. We are the experts in this. So let us talk a little bit about scalable growth dynamics in our business. And this slide is actually somewhat a distillate of what we are working with and our strategy. So we have growth from structural trends is a key element for us, where we focus on areas where we think that we have mega trends moving and where we think that we can create a niche with a mix of our own brands and of external brands and own brands. Because external brands, we choose then external brands which have edge, which we take to the market and we play in the market, and then we figure out what is the niche which we can carve out with our own brands. Very important for us, because these megatrends grow faster than the market, typically. And then we have a gross margin expansion. So we are working on developing our own brands and also building up our service offer, which builds up our gross margin. And also, as important is to build an efficient base plate. We have done restructurings. We're working further with creating platforms in Aurora del Taco and in Septon and in eFuel to ensure that these are efficient logistical setups and that they are geared for scalable growth. Otherwise, EBIT will not fall through, because EBIT fall through is a very important factor. It has to be built from an industrial perspective. And then a further accelerator for us is acquisitions. And that can be add-on acquisitions, and it can also be like new legs. What we are looking for is for add-on acquisitions which carries synergies to our base plates. And new legs, if you can call them like that, or new base plates, we are interested in base plates where we can build long-term strategic value and long-term synergies through own brands and other means, channels, etc. So, an update to our latest developments. We did a bond issue this spring, which provides us with a larger framework and also with improved terms and flexibility, which supports our financial targets and our financial plans. We have acquired eFuel, which is a strategic acquisition within electric vehicle charging. And we are continuing to build our strategy within Aurora del Taco and Septon, and we have progress in the developments of their strategies, both in terms of own brands, distribution setup, building the base plate, doing integrations, a lot of work. So we also have further strengthened our sustainability platform. We have onboarded on our team Mikael Salo, who is a leading figure within Swedish ESG work within business. It's a great addition to our team. And we also have enforced or strengthened our focus on business case driven capital allocation. So what do we want to do? How we want to do it? Should we build it organically? Should we make an acquisition? Should we break into a new area or not, or geographically? How should we use our capital resources in the most sensible way for returns? So some highlights from the third quarter. Aurora del Taco and Septon had a somewhat delayed post-pandemic recovery, but we had an acceleration in September. We have had temporary challenges from higher freight costs. They didn't just increase like once, twice, thrice, 3 times, 4 times, or whatever. It just went on and on in a period of time. I'm sure some of you are very well and painfully aware of that. So we have a strategy on track with our own brands and also with European expansion. And we have done management changes in Aurora del Taco. And that management change consists of me and Philip, who is the CFO, have stepped down from the operational roles there, handed them over to Martin Gutberg and Christian Jörgensen, who were in the teams and ready to step up. And me and Philip has been focusing on building our strategy and our capital allocation and development. And then we also have eFuel. Some highlights from that is that we are very pleased with the growth of eFuel, and we see a good performance despite that we have not yet built up the own brands business and the service business within eFuel. So also it's been a very nice integration and fit within the DistIT sister companies. So it's been a very good integration process. Very glad for that. So, and also progress on a number of development and acceleration projects for eFuel. So a financial update on Q3. A quick one is we saw the revenue increased with 11%. We saw slight decline in the gross margin, which are mainly attributed to increasing freight costs. And then, yes, we have increased prices, but it has been a rat race. Sometimes it has felt like the tail is wagging the dog. But finally building the acceptance from the customers, and then comes next freight increase, etc. So it's been crazy days from time to time. But still, our adjusted EBIT had some growth. So it is. So let's have a look at our organic financial targets for 2025. And I would like to say is that these are excluding e-fuel. We will present targets with e-fuel on a later stage. We want to give it some time so we get the flair of understand the potential of the e-fuel and also the execution dynamics, so we get it right. But what I can say is that we feel that we are on track, and we are not a Corona winner company explicitly. So we are having better days when the restrictions are lifted, and we can see that. So as we are so big and sell into all channels, in overall, the physical channels still is the lion's share on the market. But back to this, we see that in 2025 we expect a turnover of 3.5 billion, and that has an implied growth of 8%. And we expect to reach a gross margin level of 25%. This would yield, we expect, an 8% EBIT margin. This EBIT margin, if we then reverse the logic, is then built of an efficient platform, is a strong contributor to building the 8% EBIT. Without that, then we're just leaking money. So that's not the way to do it. So it's a volume, it's a gross margin, and the efficiency, which builds the scalable platform, not to forget. If we look at our strategic pillars and related to e-fuel, so we acquired e-fuel, and how does it fit to our strategic pillars? Riding on megatrends in niche categories, that's a fit with e-fuel. Developing own brands, they already started. The direct to customer development from a strategic standpoint, to have a strategy for that, it's part of their business. Strategic ESG focus, it's part of the reason of being, actually. Geographical expansion, we believe that it is a European concept which holds up very well for geographical expansion. Capital allocation, we believe it is a capital efficient business model which e-fuel has. It will not cost us blood and tears in terms of capital to grow them, which is not to underestimate, generally speaking. Here we have a slide which shows our development of own brands in the structural trends, which I have been mentioning several times in my presentation. And it shows how we work in these mega trends and their drivers, and also that we build up offerings in them. And we have a number of strong concepts and brands in this, and building quite well. So 26% of our turnover comes from own brands share of revenue. Sustainable value creation is a part of creating a successful business for us, we believe. We believe it will, from a shareholder perspective, it will give us cost savings. It will give us reduced freight cost. It will attract more and larger customers, because the larger customers have a very articulated strategy for sustainability. And it does matter a lot. And our target is to be a top 3 ESG partner to our biggest customers. We believe that's a very, very good and important strategic dialogue to have with them, which also yields then a market opportunity to be able to offer better solutions to customers and to their end customers, which we believe will be of increasing importance to have better choices and make life easier for our customers and their end customers. And also increased traceability and control of products and quality, because a lot of ESG and sustainability for business is about controlling your supply chain and know what's going on, how it's made, what is the impact, how you measure, how you develop. All that reduces risks. And believe me, there are risks in supply chain if you don't do it right. Expansion through M&A. We are looking at exposure in growing megatrends with niche distributors or product companies, could as well be. And that's one area. The other, or you can say whatever, matrix, or you can make figures out of these things. The other one is geographical expansion. We're interested in geographical expansion. And in terms of a portfolio perspective, we are looking for add-ons which we can bolt on to our platforms, which will offer synergies. There is one dimension. The other one is new legs to stand on, to be a centipede, or whatever it's called by time. So we're growing slowly now with eFuel, which is a new leg, a new platform for us, which offer us a strategic advantage and a long-term synergy. So if we look at eFuel in terms of this, we can see that eFuel is well positioned in DistIT megatrend strategy. So we have the digitalization, we have the green tech, and we have the electrification. And there, where these converge into Zenith, there we see eFuel's logo. And it is an interesting spot for us. And through eFuel, we'll also get a vantage point or an overwatch into these areas which we are working with and studying and have great interest in, great further interest in. So what to expect from eFuel? Well, in terms of revenue, we expect further growth in Sweden. We believe in a very strong growth scenario in the coming years for Sweden. We believe, despite the high electricity prices, not to mention, we believe in revenue growth from new markets. And in terms of margins, we see that we have an underlying good business with the eFuel business model for the products distribution. We see that we are building eFuel services to further build the margin strength, and also developing own brands in this area. And we have given guidance, and they are stated here in the slide, in connection with the acquisition. So we stand firm by them in the meantime, and we'll tell you more when we update you with the um, financial targets, including e-fuel for DistIT. So that was that in terms of PowerPoints, and now over to questions and answers.
Thank you very much, Robert, for the presentation. Very, very good. I was going to ask you a little bit about, you mentioned the different strategic pillars to grow, and you mentioned geographical expansion. What geographical areas are you targeting?
We are mainly targeting Europe, and we have an export function now, and we are adding on distributors in Europe, and adding on. It's mainly it's our own brands which we sell in this fashion, and so we are developing suitable distributors, and we are also building up assortments with them gradually. So we're undergoing like an acceleration with them, you could say. And our financial plan, we have anticipated the margin structure with distribution for Europe.
Yeah. And the same thing with e-fuel, geographical expansion?
Yes,
yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a priority, and we will tell you more about that when we are ready.
All right.
To tell you.
We'll wait for that. And also, how do you experience the market momentum now compared with earlier during the pandemic, or let's say last year?
It has been a struggle. We have done quite well, but it's been a struggle, and we feel that now when restrictions are lifting, that it certainly improves the business. So you could say that during the pandemic, we grew in other segments like in online, and we also suddenly grew a lot in do-it-yourself channels and other channels which were operating, etc. So,
yeah, and also about the mega trends that you are targeting and find niche products in. Would you like to give us any flavor about what the next mega trends that you are looking into?
Yeah, it's a very good question. You can say that the latest one, which we took a big chew in, where we have been working with it, when we took a big chew in, is electrical vehicle charging.
Yep.
So we started with cables actually for some time ago, and that's how we got to know e-fuel as well. But we have a lot to do with electrical vehicle charging. We have been quite successful within smart home category, and there's a lot of more to do within the smart home category. So a lot more efforts. We have, for example, in the Septon area for AV and conferencing and these kind of installations, we are releasing new assortments, and there's a lot to do, which will also have consequences for our channel focus and development. There's a lot of things to do, and new things coming up in new areas of technologies.
Yeah. And you said that you think that DistIT will generate even more sales and contribution when the society are opening up, right?
Mm.
So you would not define yourself as a COVID winner.
No. I say that. Yeah, we're not like doing Beyonce concerts only. Then it's hard during the COVID of obvious reasons. But so we have been, we have managed through COVID, but it's been harder than without the restrictions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we look forward to see the Q4, how the Q4 have played out, the most important quarter for you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is a cliffhanger.
It is a cliffhanger. And let's leave it like that. Thank you very much, Robert, for the presentation.
Thank you very much.
And thanks everyone for listening in.
Thanks.